Um, not we're not sponsored. What's up? Well, welcome in, officially. Welcome to this. Welcome to Tone It True Out. This will be your first time on the show. Not the first time we've spoken.
Loyal life, I always been about. It was never right, I had to find it out. Baby, I'm a dino, you say you and I got a load on my mind, got a glow on my mind. I don't press suicide. Mama tell me I'm too skinny now. Watch me wear my smile, watch me when I shake up at McDonald's, hey. Daddy say.
But on behalf of myself and on behalf of the lovely people at Tone It True Out, welcome in. Last we spoke in was Swindler's Love issue 2, and we're on issue 4.
Yes. Down on my day, you down on my baby, fusing me daily, need of a space.
You've had a huge year so far. I mean, you've been featured on 2 brand new albums. You put out two singles and the Swindler's Love Chapter 3, and you've got 4 coming out in December. And you've been teasing Navigation since July. Talk to me about it.
Yes, I have.
How did it come about? Why did you decide to sit on it this long?
For Navigation, honestly, it was like to do with a bunch of like, I don't want to say like drama, but it had to do with like a little bit of like behind the scene drama and stuff, and just getting it done and making sure it was like cool to release and stuff. But other than that, I don't know. I worked on it like 2 years ago. I want to say maybe, 2 years ago. And I had a feature with Adam Black. He just came into the studio one day, and I was recording the thing, and then it took me like probably a good hour to finish, and then to finish the chorus. And then he came in at the beginning of the studio time, and he finished writing the verse in like the first 30 minutes, and he already had like the flow pretty much down and like what ad-libs he wanted to add. And then he was like, do you want to finish your verse? And I was like, no, you go ahead. And he just like comes in and raps like this beautiful verse. And I don't want to say beautiful exactly because it's kind of just about being a player, but he just like comes in and raps the perfect verse, like catchy line, little zingers here and there, and he just made the song so good. And it like went from just being like kind of a depressing song about like just like wanting to be with somebody you can't be with, and then it became wanting to be with somebody you can't be with, but fuck it, I'm gonna do my own thing in the meantime. And then it goes back to like the chorus being sad, and then it goes to my verse, which I feel like is what kind of sums up the song, which is it starts off super sad and then it ends with like, oh, but I got a big dick though, so I'm good.
It's like a bounce back song. It's like a rebound song almost.
I would say it is, but it's so hard to record the chorus of that song because it's so boring to me. I don't want to say it's boring.
You think the chorus is boring?
That sounds bad. I think it's boring to perform. I'm like always been like very like upbeat, jumpity. Like if I was to like record myself doing a video, I'm like usually dancing and stuff. But this one, it's just like, and just like moving like really slowly, and it's just so boring. And then I got to the verse finally, and I was like, wait, this is actually a fun song.
So that's not one then. That's not one you performed over Halloween then.
No, it was not. I tried to, and then I was like, I have to retrain myself to sing again, because at that time I was like pop star Waylin, so I thought I was gonna be like a lover boy or whatever, and I was making like solely pop music. So my singing was actually pretty good, like just to like practice. Not on that song, but like once I kept on like working on songs,
right, it
started developing. But then I started making punk music, and now my throat's like all fucked up.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're now punk star, punk rocker or whatever. Yeah. So that's a
Soon
big
to
step. Soon to be.
Speaking
of, talk to me about that. Talk to me about this punk album I keep hearing about. And I've only got one bit from it.
If you
that album's really cool because all my other stuff I've worked on by myself, like solely, and then I brought it to like a studio. But this one, I've got to like really be there from like literally like the scratch. I just came in with lyrics to my friend Big Juice,
Mm.
and he literally just it started off a little bad because I would go in there with like no lyrics prepared, and then um he would write a beautiful beat, like something I would probably like be on now, like looking back at it, but I
Mm.
just could not get on the songs because anything I write in the moment is really easy for me to do by myself, so I can experiment with it by myself. But when I was in front of him, I was like oddly nervous in a way. I don't know how to describe it. Like it was just like nothing was like flowing. Like I just sounded bad in front of everything, and I've never been like that. And I think it's just because I was like doing something new. And then I took a lot of my old lyrics and I put them on different tracks that I found that I liked, and then I would show him those tracks. And then I would just say, "This is the BPM of this," and then we would literally build it from that.
That nervous Waylon, that's interesting because
Yeah.
you've always been so experimental. Everything's blended together and all of it.
Yeah.
It's very interesting that stepping into a new genre would make you, of all people, nervous.
Honestly, I don't know. I think it was just like he's such a talented producer and he works with such talented people that I think once I met those people and we all worked together, I was a little intimidated for a second, but once I shook it off and stuff, um, it was all good. Sorry, I was about to just thinking about Taylor Swift. But I think I was a little intimidated by like all the talent that they have.
Well, not for nothing. I mean, hip hop and rap and R&B have always kind of had that connection to punk music. I mean, especially if you think about it in terms of like Death originally being
Oh
a
yeah.
funk band before it pretty much invented punk music. So, not for nothing, it's the natural progression, I think, in your sound. If you think about it, like
Yeah.
music historically speaking, but
I agree with that 100% because it's like not really too different from rapping, in my opinion. It's just
mhm.
like you're on a little bit of a quicker tempo, and then you might say some words. It's like, oh shit,
Ooh.
hold on, am I still there? I have something else that could charge this thing. Hold on, I just see my beautiful studio. What were we talking about? I'm so sorry.
We were talking about
What I was saying was when I like you're doing like punk music, I'm sure it's not for like everybody and it's not the same way, but it's just like the same way like you would like pronounce like some words like in a cooler way and rap and make that like snap each time. It's the same way with punk. Except you add like more distortion and it's just like you're not really like the focal point of the song. That's why I really like punk, I think, is because I'm not really the focal point of the song and it feels super chaotic. That's how I started that album was I was working as a dishwasher and I was just I'm used to being like a driver or just like doing anything for work that's on the road, and I was just like stuck in this like room, and it would just be like once it got busy I would always just feel like I was going crazy, like there was just ringing in my ears, and then I was like always looking for a song to play in that moment, and I was like I need something that just sounds like fucking knives in a dryer. Like that's just what I need. Something super chaotic and just like bumping my head. And I was like listening to Death Grips for a while, and I was like, this is cool, but like the flows like whatever and stuff. And I want to make something that's like really catchy and chaotic. And like I'm not saying like they're not catchy and stuff because they definitely are, but I wanted to tone down the chaos and make it look more like poppy in a
a
way.
little more controlled chaos. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to edit some of that out because I think you'll be the first person to ever say, "Oh, the flow's whatever about Death Grips." That's insane.
Yeah. Well,
We're gonna, for your own safety, we're gonna have to cut that out.
Yeah. They're gonna be like screenshotting me like they do with like
Exactly.
the videos.
They're gonna clip that immediately.
Yeah.
The flows like whatever and stuff.
Speaking of coming to
Yeah.
me in a dream, talk to me a little bit more about not only the creative direction for navigation. I'd love to also hear about your work with I don't know Lily's last name. It's not on any of her Instagram. She doesn't have a fucking link on her Instagram to look at her shit. But
Wait,
Lily Art
who?
Photography, who you did the shoot for
Oh,
not only Eyes Low, but also Helpless.
Helpless, I've been feeling helpless. Wake up every day, should be blessed, but I fucking pray that every night be my last empty promise.
I'd love to talk about the shoot for both of those releases, because the photos are amazing.
yeah, she's
The
very
direction
talented.
is amazing. She's super talented, and I'd love to
Yeah.
talk about the creative direction as far as that was, and just working with her in general.
She's honestly awesome. Like, I don't even know how to describe like the way she goes about like photography, but every time I'm with her, it's always super fun, and it doesn't really feel like I'm working at all. And then when it's over, I'm kind of bummed out because I'm usually having a lot of fun. And she's just really talented. Like, I'll give her like a bunch of ideas. Like for Eyes Low specifically, I was watching the movie Old Boy, and then for the video, I made it with my friend OKK, and I just showed him like a couple of clips, and he just helped me make that in like a park. And then I told the same idea to Lily, just about like, I want to be smoking a cigarette and just looking cool and punk. And like this scene from Old Boy where he's getting beat up, like where it's just like some guy like getting like at the rock bottom, just being cool as fuck. And for some reason, I'm like, that's cool to me. Like I'm imagining this one guy in like a dive bar when I was like doing karaoke one time, and this guy walks in a bar full of like 6 people, including myself, and he has sunglasses on, like an old like blazer, and he does what's that song? Jades in the Nighttime or something. It was some epic like 80s song, and every single time I think of like Eyes Low, I kind of think of that guy, because it's just like, I don't know where he is in life, but the fact that he looked like that in a dive bar just made me think like
that's
he
the
thinks he's the
coolest
coolest in the
motherfucker.
world.
Yeah.
And he was, honestly. I was like, he was like a star. I was like, I need to be like this guy. Kind of fucking took notes.
Wednesday, or like, this is
Yeah,
he
some
probably does like that
drunk-ass guy
every
with
day. Like,
glasses.
that's the coolest shit ever.
Yeah, I want to be like that.
Right? Fuck, I want to be in a dive bar at 7 in the evening on a Tuesday. I don't want to look that fucking cool every day. Fuck,
But
that's awesome.
I just took like that idea, I brought it to Lily with the Eyes Low stuff. I found like some cool little red coat from my mom's closet, and I was like, this shit goes hard. I showed her that. OKK came with me. He had like the same cigarettes that we used for the Eyes Low video, which was just like a fake cigarette. And I went through like 6 of those, and they're just like rosebuds. And the entire time, it was just, I don't even know how to describe it. It's pretty much like Lily going, you like that spot? You see that spot over there? And then her team, Kiara and Danella, they just help her. Like, I don't know how great she would be without her team, but I know she would be good. But her team really makes up for a lot. Like, they give so many ideas. Like Kiara, she did my makeup for the Helpless video, or not vid. I didn't do a video for that one.
You sure as hell teased one, which was pretty lame of you. I'm not gonna lie, but what are you gonna
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't have the budget. I did not have the budget.
I
thought I was gonna be able to, and I kept on like trying to film stuff, and then the shots that came out just did not look good, and it looks like 480p and stuff, and I was just like, this isn't gonna be good to post, even though I posted Eyes Low video like that. But that's punk music. Like, this needs to be like,
yeah, that's different.
Yeah, like hopefully in the future I'm gonna have a video out for it, like I did with Skinny. Like, I didn't drop a video for that until like a year or 2 after it came out.
A while after, yeah.
Yeah, but it's all my music comes from how well I'm doing at work. So like the past 2 months I've been out on injury because of my ankle. I broke it, so that's why not all my music has been like coming out like the way I want it to. Not my music, but the promo. Like, obviously if I had the budget, I would be fucking, and if I had the
bones, yeah,
fuck, yeah, I would be I'd be doing that. I can do it now. I just need money, but Christmas is coming up, so I gotta get Christmas presents first. And it's not a big deal. Like promo's promo. Like I can always promote things like whenever I want.
Yeah.
Like that's how I
that's
see
the
it.
game
Like
of
it's
it.
not
Yeah,
going
that's
anywhere.
just the game of it. Exactly. Instagram's always going to be there. Always going to be there.
Yeah, but Lily is
Where are
super
we?
talented. Everything she does is 10 out of 10. Like I recommend her to everybody. Um, she's always available. She does photography full time. She does the wedding photography, so I know like how hectic that can be. But she's amazing.
I think that's kind of what I love about not only you and your music is somehow you not only you're probably one of the more talented people I've ever had the not only the luck but also the blessing to speak with on a regular
Thank you
basis.
so
It feels
much.
like, but you have this weird knack to attract nothing but talented and insightful people, which is
Thank
probably why
you.
you were featured
Appreciate that a
on
lot.
so much stuff this year.
Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah, I was featured on a lot of stuff this year. um,
You were on Chloe's new album, which was
yeah, I
amazing,
forgot
by the
about that.
way.
Thank you
And you
so
were
much.
on oh gosh, what's their name?
Oh,
So,
Sane Asleep.
Stay Asleep. That's the
Yeah,
one. The feature on that is
completely forgot that I was on
incredible.
that too. Oh my lordy.
Just got back to where ended in Texas. I was in the bed, riding around in a Lexus. Santa and Jet doing business while
You've got this knack to connect with these other incredibly talented people, and you guys have put out some really heavy hitting music. Not like it's sad or depressing, but music that sits there and makes you think. It's very engaging and it's very eclectic music. And I think Navigation is another just step to that. So to that
Thank you so
end,
much.
when the fuck is this album coming out?
The album. Okay, so going back to like the whole injury thing.
Right.
So once I get like the funds and stuff, uh, my engineer at Top Hat Studio, he
Shout
has
out, my
all
boy.
of my music. Yeah, he has everything. Like it's all there. It's all recorded. I just have to like finish getting it all mixed and mastered. I think I literally have one more song, maybe two more songs that really need to be finished, and not just finished, but like recorded and re-recorded. And everything else, it's like a 12 or 11 track project. I have to look at it again, but yeah, it's coming hopefully next year around December, or if worse comes to worse, then later in the year. But that's like my closest finished album next to the punk album. It's just this fucking Swindler's Love album has been a fucking pain in the ass and a bane of my existence since I started like making music with censored dialogue.
Right?
Like,
It's going to be just cathartic to get it out there,
yeah,
really.
honestly, and I know this is like the album I'm gonna be proud to like always promote. Like Confess, I see it like I've always seen it as a mixtape because it was I want to actually be able to go back and retouch it one day because that was like an album that I was working on after my laptop crashed and it broke and I had to get a new computer and I couldn't salvage any of the songs, but I had all of the songs and I couldn't salvage any of the work I put on the beats because like these were just like YouTube beats that I bought and I like completely reconstructed them to make them interesting again. And once my laptop busted, I was like, I cannot like go through that whole process again. And I just got it mixed and mastered and put it out as what it was. But it would have been out sooner, like closer to when I released Get It. But I had poor supervision and I followed people I shouldn't have followed. But yeah,
It's a learning game, man. It's a
it
learning
definitely
game. It
is.
really is.
It
Oh
definitely
man.
is. I just try
Oh,
like a
that's
lot of
incredible.
it is like also not trying to beat yourself up over it because I remember when I was like a 16-year-old, I was like, when I'm 24, I'm gonna be living in a mansion. I'm gonna be touring the world. And now I'm like, damn, I'm 24. I'm going to school. I'm a delivery driver.
Man,
And
I'm right there with you, man. I get it.
yeah,
I really do.
but there's like a kind of a beauty in that because like the way you perceive art and other people's art and just like your own music is a lot different, because I feel like a lot of my music back then was like, I'm the best, I'm gonna be the #1 top seller, and now it's just like I want to make music about life and stuff. And luckily Swindler's Love just like goes perfectly with that, because it's just a love story that develops into like a sob story. And then yeah, I'm still excited to like work on like the next version of that whole album, but right now it's just like falling in love when you're not ready. And that's kind of like a beautiful thing that I got to see it turn into, because it was like just, it started off as like I'm in love, I got cheated on, but I want to be loved. And then I was like, as like time went on, I was like, wait a minute, Swindler's Love, maybe I'm kind of the swindler in this type of shit. Because like the more I started talking to people, I was like, it's gonna sound rude, but like I don't know, I feel like I let a lot of people on accident, and I didn't mean to. Like I just like, interest like calls. Like if you're interested in someone else, I'd expect you to move on too. So like that's kind of like how I see a lot of relationships, up until you find that person and that person like clicks with you, and then it's just like beautiful. But like I don't know, people get a little in their feelings about all that, and I feel like my views on that type of stuff is just kind of what formed the album later on, because it's like, now it starts off with like, I'm a bad motherfucker, I'm also like a heartbroken motherfucker, but I just want to be like cool. And
bad nonetheless. Exactly.
Yeah. And then it's just like, wait, I'm suicidal. And then it's like, wait, I want to be in love. And then it's just like, maybe I should focus on myself. And then it's just like kind of goes into like self-reflection, and then it goes back into being in love, which I think is the beauty in the album. Just the cycle of love that never ends.
Brought another girl, you gonna love her because she's Asian, right?
Exactly. Because she's Asian, and I'ma say it, mama.
Right,
Come on.
Unreal.
Such a cat.
I think I caught that on like the second listen. I was like, now, hang on a minute.
Yeah.
Wait a second.
Adam's so talented. He wrote that in like, I'm telling you, like, it had to be like 30 minutes to an hour. And I was like, how do you even come up with, I'm gonna call one Bay and the other Yonsei? Like, it's so like simple, but it's just like, bro, how do you even think of that?
in 20 minutes you wrote that. Like, that's unbelievable.
Like,
unreal.
Something I would have like thought of it and like had to like swap out like a corny lyric that I wrote, but he just had like perfect like punchlines after punchline after punchline, and he wrote all that. He exited the room to write all of that. Like, he was like, hold on one moment, and then he comes back, I'm ready. It was like some Goku shit.
Right? Like some Jimmy Neutron brain blast. That's what that is.
No, literally.
Oh my God.
Also, and being like around people like that just inspires me to like just make my music better, because I don't even think I had like a full written verse, and then once I heard his verse I was like, okay, I need to pick it up. It's like the same experience I had when I made music with Solo Grim. I don't know if you remember that song on Confess. It was like called Olympus.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He came in, I had like a whole verse written out, and he came in, he wrote his, and then I was like, fuck. And then he he helped me start off my verse because I was having so much trouble trying to like come back from that.
I mean, that's like the beauty of it, really, of like collaborating and working. It's like, it's not competition and like a toxic sense, like mine's gonna be better than his. I can't let this guy come in and like show me up on my own track. I mean, there's definitely some of that, but it's like if he's gonna come at it, shit, I gotta exactly. So actually, funny story.
Exactly what you were saying.
Back in the day, we used to write diss tracks like about each other, like for fun, and it got so bad. It got really bad.
It got a little personal.
It did, because it'll start off really fun. It's like, oh, he's a real, he's mowing in his slides. Oh, he does that. That's hilarious. And then you get 6 down the line. It's like, you can't say that shit about his mom. You can't do that. That's a line. This is not good competition.
But it's hard because it's like you're already in the moment and stuff, and then it's like the more you go, the more things you're starting to see, and it's flowing a little bit better.
Keep getting a little. The steps turn into jumps, and the jumps turn into leaps, and then you're fist fighting behind the studio, and no one's happy.
Yeah, literally.
Then no one's happy. Oh man. As far as like albums go, and as far as the release on the rest of Swindler's Love. I think we've already kind of covered that it will be hopefully out by the next year. What comes next? So you're healing up, you're up and running, well, up and walking at least.
Yeah.
What comes next? Do we have more shows coming up? Are we expecting another single before the release of the full thing, expectedly next year? What do we got?
I'm hoping. So I'm working on that punk album with Big Juice. I'm hoping that we have more fun music coming along. I'm actually working on a lot of stuff. Holy shit. So I'm also, so after I released this last, like, I don't even know what you would say, like, issue of Swindler's Love, I'm going to be releasing 7 more tracks on top of that, along with this one. That's a lie. Holy shit, that's a lie. 5 more tracks on top of this one. That would have been exciting.
Ooh, 7.
Yeah, that would have been cool. 5 more tracks on top of what's out already, and I'm gonna like try to perfect all of that and maybe retouch on like some of the stuff that's already out, like Soulmate. I might take out Thang, but hopes is that I can make that sound a little bit more interesting than what it is, because I think it's like the weakest track on the album. And there's like no point in having a weak track on the album. Like
that's very interesting that you say that, but we'll get into that. We'll talk about that in a minute. But
and then after that, I'm working on a little EP, like a little West Coast EP with Lil Chris Geezy, and he's made like a bunch of my other tracks, like Skinny, Complicated, and Bogged Down Low, and we have been working on that for like the past month, and then that might come like next summer. And then my punk album, we just have to re-record everything, so there's like no real release date on that. That could come out next year, that could come out in 2 years. I want all my stuff to be perfect and just something I don't have to keep on like fixing in the future, because Confess is something I definitely got to go back and fix that. But yeah, hopefully I'm shooting for the future is the West Coast Royale with G's and Swindler's Love album, not just Issues. Yeah,
not just Issues, the whole graphic album.
The full compendium.
The full book, the whole lunch, every Thanksgiving fucking dinner.
I gotta figure out what to call that. I was gonna call it album.
I was just about to ask, do we have a title for the punk album?
The title for the punk album is called I Feel Cool Looking Up. And yeah. That's going off of cool, like
look it up or looking up?
Looking up. So it's like the whole like the based off of like being at the rock bottom type of thing, but in this case it's like being in hell looking up. I'm just feeling cool about it.
I dig it, man. We'll be looking forward to it. So as always, we ended off on my favorite question. What are you listening to right now?
Oh, let me see. I've been listening to not a lot of rap.
Asterisk that as well, as it is the end of the year, and this will be probably our second to last episode of Turner Show Live for the year. We also need a favorite album of the year.
Favorite album of the year.
Putting you on the spot. Easy.
Love for Rent by Smino. Yeah. That's the best album of the year. I don't think anything's topped it. Like, I've heard a lot of good albums. Maybe like James Blake comes in second, but like Love for Rent is just so good. I have so many good memories driving around a lot with that, and I didn't have like too many like great memories this year. Like, I've been kind of isolated with like myself, so that album like brought out a lot of good moments. But that's like probably like one of the only rappers I'm really listening to right now, other than Meek Mill.
which is a big switch, because if you remember last time we talked, it was Nothing But.
Oh yeah, but now it's like experimental, like James Blake. I guess he's not experimental. Yves Tumor, Kilo Kish, Twigs, Tom York. Oh, the people that did the Cyberpunk soundtrack for the show.
Not Nothing But Thieves. They had a song on it. The
some guy named like Daweed. I don't even know how to say his name. And then like the silent. Oh no, that's Death Stranding. Have you heard the Death Stranding soundtrack?
No. Who did that
song? Silent Poets.
Silent Poet.
Death Stranding. That soundtrack. Oh my god, it just makes me want to just, I don't know, just explore the world. I guess that's like perfect for like what the game is, but I haven't even beat that game. I like stopped playing just to listen to the soundtrack because it was so good. Like every song is like 8 minutes long, and every single one's like just perfect. Like there's not one bad song on it, and they're all like just beautiful. I have nothing else to say about that album. Oh, and not Curtis Mayfield. Oh my lordy.
I'm really Curtis Mayfield.
That would have been really random.
Not really.
Like,
I mean,
listening to like on this.
You'd be surprised. It's been a weird year for like experimental jazz and like stuff like that, and like kind of like funk, like a lot of like funk tropes and stuff like that have like kind of come back.
Curtis Harding?
Yeah.
Oh my god, so good. That's what I meant to say, but like exactly where you're going with that. I was like, that's Curtis Harding.
Yeah.
I thought that was an old man. I was like 23.
No, dude, literally, he's like young. He's not like, he's not like 18, but he's a young guy as far as like that genre is concerned. Like it's incredible. Such a huge year.
It's so cool. You kind of remind me of what I thought Lucky Day was. Dave? I think that's his name. Kind of reminded me of what I thought he was doing back in the day. I think he kind of was, but he was mixing it more with like modern music. But Curtis Harding is just like fucking straight out of, I don't even know, the 70s.
Pretty much, like straight out like that little, like end of the 70s Earth, Wind and Fire. Almost. Like he's so great, so great. Oh man, like I could sit here and chat music with you all day. Unfortunately, we are out of time for today's episode. So
shit.
Thank you so much for coming on again.
Thank you for having
myself
me on
and
again.
Tona Trio, man. It's always a great time. Navigation
so much, man.
Friday, December 22nd. We'll be looking forward to it.
Please stream. Please
stream.